here in Atlanta underwent that treatment. It happened at Atlanta Hospital, the same hospital that is in the process of having its license to operate taken away. Channel 5's Russ Jameson has details on today's experimental surgery.
He is now resting in the intensive care unit and seems to be stable.
He is 37 years old, from Chicago, diagnosed with AIDS 4 years ago. He is known only as Tony. And this morning he underwent a controversial new treatment called hyperthermia. The technique circulates blood out of the body and heats it to 108 degrees before returning it. Carl Crawford was the first patient 4 months ago. Nearly dead from an AIDS-related cancer, he took a shot in the dark.
I had nothing to lose.
Now doctors say he is cancer-free and shows no signs of the AIDS virus. Just after today's operation, surgeons reported their latest patient is doing well.
I'm happy to report to you that, as far as we can tell, all of the efforts in the operating room were successful. We did not have any complications.
So I'm here to share this information with you. I have nothing for sale. There are people who are selling things. I'm not one of them. Part of that is I believe God's work should be given freely. I expect to get my reward somewhere else. I hope I don't come back to this planet of painful endeavor. I have a lot of theories about this, and also the FDA has come to my door with drawn guns at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have been beaten up by the people who are supporting the pharmaceutical houses and don't want a $1.32 cure for AIDS. So what you do here, and you'll notice on page 7 of the book, which gives away all the secrets, we have liberally borrowed from Gray's Anatomy, and we have drawings here of the paths of the blood. And the objective is to get as much electricity into the blood as possible and waste as little of the electricity as possible in the surrounding tissue or flesh. So this is very, very simple to do. And after experimenting with numerous types of electrodes, TENS electrodes, transcutaneous nerve stimulation, etc., we wound up with little electrodes which are pieces of stainless steel rod exactly 1 1/4 inches long. You dip these in salt water, very dead artery, and on the ulnar, that's on the opposite side of the inside of the same wrist. And why can you feel the pulse there? Because the arteries, not veins, the arteries avoid the bones in the wrist by coming close to the surface. And if the blood is going through these arteries close to the surface, it's a very, very simple thing to get electricity into them. You then position the 2 saltwater wet electrodes over the radial and the ulnar arteries where you feel your pulse. And you plug it into the box. Turn it on, adjust the amplitude, the intensity, to the point where it's comfortable. And then if you're shy, you might choose to pull your sleeve down, and nobody knows that you're wearing the most powerful medical tool invented in this century. And what this is doing is putting this mild current, 50 to 100 microamperes, into your circulating blood, and therefore eliminating all, I hate this word because I used to be a physicist, all parasites, viruses, fungi, germs, pathogens. And it's doing this by putting this small electrical potential into the arteries, in this case on the arm.
What about energy? We've always had to pay for that, whether it's wood or coal, oil or electricity. It's always been the rule that you can never get back more energy than what you put in the first place. That's a fundamental law of nature. Physicists of the 19th century figured that out with the first law of thermodynamics, the conservation of energy. Maybe so, but science has come a long way since then. And laws, well, there's never been one that hasn't been broken.
My God, it doesn't work. I can't believe it doesn't work. I found it on the internet.
Top our news here at 6 o'clock, an age-old dream becoming a reality. A local inventor has discovered a way, hear this, to use water to run your car.
It's a major breakthrough that will no doubt make motorists happy. And as Ralph Robinson explains, the Pentagon is also showing lots of interest in this project.
Water has always been considered a precious commodity, but Stan Meyer's invention may make it even more valuable. He has developed what's called a water fuel cell. It has taken the place of his old gas tank. The water fuel cell breaks down water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen is used to run his dune buggy.
I don't care if you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water. If you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, then use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
Meyer started working on this project 4 years ago. He's not a scientist. He isn't even a chemist. In fact, he never graduated from college. Myers was determined, he says, to design something to protect this country from oil embargoes.
And we have calculated that if we take the dune buggy from Los Angeles to New York, we would roughly use 22 gallons of water.
Myers is currently perfecting a water fuel cell for cars. It will cost about $1,500. He says it won't need any maintenance, and you won't have to replace it. It'll be at least 2 years before the fuel system goes into mass production. The day it happens will be one the fuel industry hates, but it'll put a smile on the face of those who've had to say at one time or another, fill her up.
The suppression of these technologies has been very, very well organized for over 100 years. This can be proven. There are many accounts of people who have had their technologies, as I mentioned, forcibly confiscated or classified, illegally classified by the abuses of Title 35, Section 180, 181 of the patent law. There are others who have been just flat out intimidated and threatened. Others simply bought out and told that, you know, you don't want to do this and we will buy it out from you. I think the most important way that it's been suppressed, this is a very good example, is that many times when support begins to build around one of these technologies, there is enormous pressure brought to bear to stop the funding of it or the support of it. Make no mistake about it, the machine that runs the entire world's industrial economy is fossil fuels of some type. Gas, natural gas, oil, coal, what have you.
And a guy walks in and he comes up to me at the end of the show and he says, "Mr. Lee, I am absolutely astonished. I want to shake your hand and I want to tell you